Now, we're going to talk about the Rambouillet peace talks. It's important to understand that the United States is going to see this instability as a threat. Now, you might be wondering why the United States is going to be getting involved in this situation right through here. There's going to be a number of reasons for this. First and foremost, at this time period, we're in the 1990s, the United States is the only superpower on the world stage at this time period. Previously, we had the United States and the USSR kind of battling it out during the Cold War. We don't have that anymore because the USSR has collapsed. It's no longer a country. The United States is going to be the only real major superpower in the world. It's a way of the United States also kind of taking advantage of that to show their might and also to make sure that their best interests are taken care of in the world. Additionally, there's going to be a little bit of stuff going on right through here. If we talk about 1994, we have an incident in Rwanda, the Rwandan genocide. 800,000 individuals were killed there. The United States did not get involved, and there was really a lot of pushback later coming out about the same time as the Rambouillet peace talks of whether or not the United States could have done something to stop this genocide. We're seeing something going on right through here in Yugoslavia, and the United States is going to see this as something where they could possibly get involved here to kind of make up for what they failed to do in Kosovo, or excuse me, in Rwanda. So the United States is going to see this stability as a threat. Additionally, there's discussion on the relevancy of NATO in a post-Cold War era. I've talked about this a little bit previously, but NATO was originally came about in 1949 to stop Soviet aggression. As I've just stated, the Soviet Union is no longer around anymore. So is NATO still relevant is a really legitimate question that a lot of people are having at this time period. Now, members of NATO are certainly going to want to keep NATO around because it provides them with an additional level of security. It also provides them with a little bit more muscle to kind of get what they need or they feel like they need on an international scene. So there is this discussion right through here. Western leaders are going to step in and demand that Kosovo and Serbia sit down and talk about their issues. This is kind of like the parents getting involved and the two siblings are fighting. They stop back, let it happen for a while, and finally they're like, you know what? We're done. You two are coming here. You're sitting on the couch. You're figuring this out, despite the fact that neither one really wants to do that. In February of 1998, we're going to get leaders from Kosovo and Serbia meeting in Rambouillet, a village in France, to discuss peace. There's also going to be members and representatives from the United States, France, Great Britain, Italy, and Russia present at this time period. So kind of the major world players in this time. We're going to have members of NATO present here, and we're also going to have Russia. Now, Russia historically is a large ally of Serbia. They're going to be coming in, again, Russia, United States, France, and Britain, all permanent members of the UN Security Council as well. All have veto power on the UN Security Council, so it makes sense that these countries would kind of be here. Germany and Italy, two large economic players in Europe as well. Italy, close location to Yugoslavia, just right across the Adriatic Sea. They want to make sure that peace is happening. There is going to be protesters outside of Rambouillet where the meeting is happening who are going to voice support for the KLA, and they're going to voice support for independence of Kosovo. Now, the independence of Kosovo was not something that was even on the table for discussion at this talk. However, it is something that protesters are speaking of, and it is something that a number of individuals adequately, they want, and they want it fervently. The Serbians are going to be represented by Milan Milutinovic. I'm really bad at Serbian, I apologize. He is a hardliner, and he is unified in his position. He is the Serbian representative there. He's advocating for Serbia, and he is hardlined on this one. He believes that Kosovo is Serbia, that this is a internal affair that is not a matter of international concern. It's a Serbian problem happening with a part of Serbia that is resisting their legitimate government, and therefore that this should be dealt with by Serbia. Kosovo is going to be represented by two individuals here. We're going to get Hasan Taci. He's going to be the leader of the KLA, and he's going to be declared a year terrorist by the United States a year prior to this. Again, the KLA using their actions, the West was very uneasy with them. The KLA is ultimately going to be declared a terrorist organization. So we're going to get him. We're also going to get Ibrahim Rugova, who's going to be the president of Kosovo. Again, he's the pacifist. So you've gotten two individuals right through here, both wanting Kosovo and Kosovar independence. However, they have a different way of going about this. They're not unified, and this is going to cause problems when it comes to their peace talk and what goes on from here. Serbia is unified. These two individuals are not, which is going to kind of weaken the position of Kosovo. In this talk, it's going to be incredibly obvious that unity is going to be hard to reach. It's going to be hard to come to a consensus in these talks. Critics saw this as a Western opportunity to simply get involved in Serbia, and that there was virtually no chance of these talks actually succeeding. The only reason they're happening is for the West and the United States to say, hey, we tried, peace didn't work, let's go bomb. That's kind of the critical perspective of this talk. There is an argument on both sides that you could look into as well of whether or not this was something that was actually done in order to bring about peace, or if this was done simply as a kind of a preamble or like a preface to Western involvement in the country. Both sides are hesitant to accept the settlement. Kosovo is going to be kind of saying, yeah, we don't like this, we don't want to take this settlement. Serbia is kind of saying the same thing, we don't like this, we don't want to take this settlement. Again, to the Serbians, this is a domestic issue. It'd be like, for example, Germany, an issue in Bavaria, and the whole world getting involved to stop that. And for the most part, they're like, this is our country, we can handle this, we don't need you to do this. It kind of, to the Serbians, it'd be like you having a disagreement with your spouse in your house, and all of a sudden the homeowners association gets together to try to solve your problems. You would be understandably frustrated and upset, and that's kind of an oversimplification, but that's really the Serbian position right here. The Kosovars are upset by this as well because there's no guarantee of an independence referendum, the one thing that they want. There's also the agreement of the KLA disbanding before proceeding. Again, something that they don't like. They're not wanting to disband the KLA because in their eyes, the KLA is the only reason these talks are even happening. They brought about the international kind of awareness that they were looking for, and therefore they have a right to be existing. So there's going to be a lot of disagreements right through here. Ultimately, Kosovo, the United Kingdom, and the United States are going to sign the document. Serbia and Russia refused. Now, there was a lot of speculation that the United States and the United Kingdom kind of went to Kosovo and said, sign this document because that way we can blame it on Serbia and blame our involvement on Serbia. When the peace doesn't happen, which is not going to happen, we can blame it on Serbia and not you. If you don't sign it, you have to take some of the blame. If you sign it, none of the blame is yours. They're going to do it. We're going to come have your back right through here. So Kosovo ultimately does sign the document, as does the United States and the United Kingdom, and that's going to bring us to NATO involvement. Comments, questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you later. Good luck.